Hello and welcome to the CSUSB edition of National Women's and Girls in Sports Day, represented by the Women's Sports Foundation. I'm Kelsey Tolan. I'm going to be your leader today, and I am the assistant volleyball coach here at Cal State. The National Women's and Girls in Sports Day started in 1987 and recognizes female athletes, coaches, leaders, and mentors who participated or are affiliated with the sports industry and their accomplishments. In addition, it is a day to acknowledge and honor where female equality has strived to become and continues to grow into the next generations. So we would first like to introduce those who are joining us today. The sports represented here at Cal State are softball, women's basketball, cross country and track and field, volleyball, women's soccer, and our administrative staff representative, Dr. Chelsea Herman, Senior Associated Athletic Director and Senior Women Administrator. Yes, that is all one title. So we are going to jump in to our first sport. Coach D with softball, if you want to introduce yourself and your student athletes.
Hi, y'all. My name is Dee Payan. I am the head softball coach here. This will be my third year, or going into my third year coaching here. Love it. It's awesome. Love my team. Love my coaching staff. Love all you guys. And I'm going to pass it off to my junior, Kiki Foley.
Hi, my name is Kiki. I'm a junior on the softball team, and I'm sorry, my headphones cut out a little bit. Am I missing something?
Hayden.
Hi, I'm Hayden. I'm a freshman here on the softball team, and I'm super excited to be here.
Perfect. Let's go to women's basketball.
Hi, my name is Cassandra Renaud. I am the head coach here going in the middle of my second year. Thank you for having me, and I'm great to be a part of this series for the evening. I'm going to pass it off to my assistant, who is also on, and then who will also introduce our two players.
Hi, I'm Brenda Martinez. I'm also in the middle of my second season alongside Coach Renaud, and I'm going to pass it on to our junior Nikki.
Hi everyone, my name is Nikki Mayoral. I'm a junior, and I'm gonna pass it over to my teammate Nina.
Hi, my name is Nina Wallace, and I'm a sophomore on the basketball team.
Perfect. Cross country and track and field.
Hello, my name is Lauren Reimer. I'm the head coach for cross country, track and field. I will be entering my 5th year, and now I'd like to pass it on to my assistant coach, Nikki McDonald.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nikki McDonald. I'm the assistant cross country and track and field coach, and I will pass it to Miranda.
Hello, everyone. My name is Miranda Avila, and I'm in my 3rd year at CSUSB, and I'm part of the women's cross country and track and field team. I'll pass it to Mame.
Hey guys, my name is Mame Danahene, and I am my 2nd year here, and I am on the women's track and field team. Happy to be here.
Volleyball.
Hi, my name is Kim Chernus, and it's a little strange to say it, but this is my 30th year here at Cal State San Bernardino. So all you babies out there, good job. In addition to being joined by Kelsey, who we are so proud of to be hosting this event, we have 2 of our spectacular student athletes with us, and I'll allow them to introduce themselves, starting with Alexis.
Hi everyone, I'm Alexis Cardoza. This is my 4th year at CSUSB, and I'm excited to be here with you all.
Hi everyone, I'm Jalen. This is also my 4th year at CSUSB, and I'm excited to have a good time today.
And soccer?
Hi everyone, my name is Katie Armfola. I am the head coach for women's soccer, and this is my 2nd year. So I'll introduce Carla Luna. Go ahead, you can start us off.
Hi everyone, my name is Carly Luna, and this is my 3rd year at CSUSB. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm going to pass it over to my teammate, Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam Smith, and it's my first year at CSUSB. I'm really excited to participate in this event.
Perfect. And last but not least, Dr. Chelsea Herman, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Kelsey. My name is Chelsea Herman, and I am the Senior Associate Athletics Director and Senior Women Administrator. I have just completed my junior season here. My anniversary is actually on Friday, so I have been here roughly 1/10 of the time of Coach Turness, and I know roughly about 1/10 of what she knows.
Great. Well, thank you again for all being here. It should be a fun time. The Women's Sports Foundation prides itself on past history and current research in order to educate those for the future and how far they still have to go. We would like to start our podcast off with some history that the Women's Sports Foundation has provided for us. In 1971, 90% of women's college sports coaches were females. All the way up to 2019 now, we have seen actually a decrease by 43% of female coaches in the NCAA division. What we do see, though, is an increase by 291% from 1981 to 2018 in female NCAA student athletes. So my question, and to start this podcast off, is why do you think there has been a decline in female coaches, whereas our student athletes have increased by that much? If anyone wants to start us off.
Well, I'll offer a little bit of insight, seeing as I've been watching this happen over the years. Initially, I thought that it was declining because coaching requires you to travel quite a bit, whether it's for recruiting or whether it's for competition. And it's a little bit difficult for women who are parents or to be away from their spouses. So it requires a commitment that is sometimes hard on a household. There's that stereotype that the women need to be home with their children. And it's very tough emotionally, I think, too. Speaking as a mom, it was hard for me when I first had my daughter to be on the road and to be away from her. So I solved it the only way I know how. I took her with me. And it was a wonderful experience. But to me, I think there's another reason for this that a lot of people aren't thinking about, and that is that women are very career oriented now, and they want to make a lot of money. And it's hard to find coaching jobs that pay a lot of money. So until women are being compensated in some of these sports that are not your, high spectator drawing or revenue drawing sports, till they start paying that, I don't think you're going to see a lot of women, because they're not going to do it unless they're getting paid. That's just my opinion.
Great. Thank you, Kim. Anyone else have anything regarding that question?
Kelsey, I'll add an additional thought, and that is, well, we've done a tremendous job of increasing our participatory numbers and our opportunities for women. And certainly, as a former student athlete, I played basketball in college. I was fortunate enough to take advantage of that opportunity. What we have yet to see is cracking into men's sports. So we don't have women's coaches in men's sports on that side yet. So we're seeing opportunities now in the NFL and the NBA with officials and coaches. And I would like to see us with that same trajectory, but we're not there yet. We're just knocking at the door.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? All right. So, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
No, you're okay. I was gonna say that I think that.
Oh, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Okay, just
There you go. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that there's more opportunities for women now with jobs in sports, except for coaching, like sports agents and just jobs like that, rather than just coaching. And I think that women athletes have gained the confidence to be able to go into those male dominated fields. So I think that might be a reason.
Great. Very good. Perfect. All right. So next up, we will expand on 4 questions pertaining specifically to those who are involved in sports. Each participant here that is with us will write down their answer on a piece of paper, and we'll give you some time to kind of think about it, and then everyone will show on the screen who you chose. So the first question up is, which female athlete or figure inspired you while growing up? So I'll give you just a couple of seconds here to write it down. Once you're ready, go ahead and hold it up on the screen. Perfect. Awesome. So Kiki, you want to talk about your choice?
Of course. So I chose Aubry Monroe. For those of you who don't know, she is a catcher. She's currently catching for the USA women's softball team. And she went to college at the University of Florida. She was a really big inspiration for me because growing up, that was when I was really getting into catching. She graduated, I think, in 2015 or 2016. So that was just like right in my high school prime years. And so she was a really big inspiration to me because we're built the same. We're both tall and skinny, and we both struggle with the same things. And so watching her like really succeed in a field that is so similar to mine, I thought that was why I would choose her.
Great. Very good. Nikki, what about you?
I chose Candace Wiggins. For those of you who don't know, she's a basketball player. She made it to the league, and she was my main person because she went to La Jolla Country Day, and that's a school down here in San Diego where I'm like from. And I actually went to one of her camps when I was in middle school, and I loved the struggle, or I loved the journey that she went through, and she was able to accomplish. She went through so much adversity, and she was able to like beat that adversity and still make it to the league, and which is inspiring because for those of you who don't know, her dad died at a young age, and I felt like, and she was still able to go to Stanford and make it to the league, and it's just really inspirational. So that's why I chose her.
Really great. So going off of that question, do you feel like, how old were you in that camp when you started playing in San Diego?
I was probably like in 7th grade. I was barely starting, like that was my 2nd, 3rd year actually getting into basketball. And like, she made me like love the journey, because she said like, embrace the journey, embrace everything you go through, because in the end it's worth it.
Perfect. So your experience as a young athlete, you feel like those camps were really important for you?
Oh, of course, definitely. I've made friendships, and you obviously learn more about the game, and you make like memories.
Great. Perfect. Thank you. So Coach Bree, what do you think?
First of all, San Diego, stand up. My inspiration was Lisa Leslie, and a big reason for that is because I was 5'10" at a young age. So I was towering over all the boys when I played co-ed basketball. I didn't play girls basketball actually until I was in 7th grade, and I had to at my middle school. My dad had me playing with the boys just to get tougher, but Lisa Leslie was definitely my inspiration because she was the first woman to dunk and all that good stuff. And just being as tall as she was, my dad, was always telling me I was going to be like her. And yeah, so she was definitely my inspiration going into being a basketball athlete.
Great. Mame?
So I went with Sydney Mclaughlin. I don't know if many people know who she is, but she's just an amazing runner who went to the Olympics at the age of 16, the first actually girl to go to the Olympics before the Rio Games. And she's currently went to college for 1 year, and after that she went pro. And I feel like she's inspired me because I didn't really commit to track until like middle school and high school, where people start doing their sport really younger. So I always felt like I was at a disadvantage. And then until I started like gaining more, and, you know, she does a 400, which I'm a 400 runner. It really inspired me knowing that like, if I really push myself and I'm like really dedicated, I know I could like make it to where I believe to make it. So who knows, if, you know, the Olympics are where I'm supposed to be, then that would be like really great as well, especially at a young age like that.
Perfect. Great, thank you. And Kim, how about you close this question off?
I had Debbie Green, even though it wasn't kind of showing up on my screen there. She was the setter for our silver medal winning women's volleyball team at the 1980 Olympics, I think it was. You know, back when they wore skirts and played with an old basketball. But it was, she was, you know, someone who just really inspired me, because there were all sorts of stories about her level of commitment, how she would set, you know, thousands of volleyballs a day, and just never stop training. And at that time, there were very few role models like that in sport for women that just committed themselves like you only heard about guys doing, you know, just practicing for hours every day and really driving themselves to, you know, be uber successful. So she was a real role model for me.
Right. Where, when did you see that transition from, you know, predominantly boys sports to sports that, you know, in high schools, you're starting to see some female teams?
Was that for me, Kels?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When did I see the transition of people starting to work like the same way, train the same way?
Yeah, like for example, Tara Vanderveer said that there wasn't even a female sport team in her high school. And she, you know, she went a couple years saying, you know, I want to play, like, come on, let me play. I'll play with the guys. And then all of a sudden they offered her like, yeah, okay, now you can play. Now out of, you know, she's like, I'm over it. I don't want to play now because you, you took too long.
Yeah,
So,
there was definitely, I didn't see that transition for quite some time. I mean, even when I went to college, when I played softball, I was actually triple sport athlete my freshman year, but when I played softball, we wore the old baseball uniforms and played on, you know, a dirt field while the guys had their, you know, stadium. And that was at the collegiate level and at a good college. So I think the development of, and almost forcing organizations like colleges and high schools and that type of thing, saying that you have to provide the same thing for women that you do for women and girls that you do for boys and men, it's something that they fought against for a long time. They didn't want to do it. So when we kind of get uncomfortable with things like Title IX limitations and stuff right now, it's tough. And I feel bad for some, you know, stipulations that are put on men's programs. But to be honest with you, I don't feel that bad, because without that, we wouldn't have got to where we are now, to have so many opportunities for girls and young women to participate. So I would say it wasn't until probably the turn of the century, when in the 2000s, that we started to see opportunities that even remotely mirrored what boys and men were getting.
Great. Perfect. Thank you. All right. For the second question, it is, if your sport didn't exist, what career would you be in? So go ahead and take a second and write that down. If your sport didn't exist, what career would you be in? When you're ready, go ahead and hold it up. Oh, a lot of teaching, education, teacher, medical, great. Jalen, go ahead and expand on yours.
Well, if my sport didn't exist, I'd probably be an ultrasound tech. I found that I'm not the best in science, so I'm really glad my sport does exist. But I'm glad that, I mean, it would be pretty cool to just like go to work every day and you're literally looking at, like, you're using high frequency sound waves to look at people's internal organs. Like that doesn't even, I can't even fathom that. That doesn't even make sense. And then on top of that, like to be able to use a little machine and see like a small human growing inside of someone else, I don't even know what I'd do. So that's what my career would be.
Perfect. Great. Carly, what about you?
So if soccer wasn't a sport, I would probably be doing film editing. I've always had a passion for film and movies and dissecting them and looking back at them. And when I was in high school, I was lucky enough to get an internship with this great company that worked in doing trailers and cutting together the trailers that we see for every movie. And it's something that allows me to work in a field that I'm passionate about, but also mixes it with like my thirst for competition and being the best at what I do, that there's an opportunity to like win an Oscar someday if you're good enough. And there's like that competitive edge to it that you always have to keep innovating and keep getting better. And that's something that I thrive on and something that I would love to do.
Perfect. So what's your favorite movie?
It's a movie called Primal Fear. A lot of people haven't seen it, but it is literally like my favorite movie of all time because it has one of the best twist endings, and I love Edward Norton. So
cool. Awesome. Thank you, Carly. Coach D, go ahead.
Carly, that was really well said. So I just kudos to you. That's so awesome. I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher of some sense. I decided I wanted to be a coach in college, but I just love kids and I love connecting with kids, and I feel like we can learn so much from them. So I wanted to be second grade, and I picked second grade because I felt like that age is the easiest. Once you get a little bit older and you get fifth and sixth, you know, they start having a mind of their own, and you start hearing, well, my mom doesn't want us to do it this way, or my mom said this. So second grade is perfect. You can totally be authentic and yourself. You can goof around with them. And I obviously have tons of patience, but I love kids, and I always saw myself in a field connecting with people and teaching people, and I feel like second grade teaching is the next best thing. So I would say.
Awesome. Speaking of kids, Coach Nikki, go ahead, you're next.
So I mean, if cross country and track didn't exist, I also would be in the teaching field. I mean, that's what my goal plan was for like the longest time. I've loved PE since I was a kid. That was like the one class I was like, is it PE time yet? Like I really want to just want to go outside and play or just run around. So I would definitely be an elementary school PE teacher because I did my observations for middle school and high school, and I'll just say they scared me. But yeah, so that would be my career path. I love kids. I have 2 of them on the way, so you know, I got to prepare.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, we've had a couple of teachers or education field that they would go into. I guess it goes hand in hand with coaching and teaching. So great. All right, moving on to our next question. Question number 3. If you could have lunch with a female athlete or coach, past or present, who would it be? So go ahead and take your time, write that down. Go ahead and hold them up when you're ready. All right, Serena Williams, awesome. Good. Very cool. All right, Lexi Cardoza, National Player of the Year. Let's hear it.
I picked Carrie Walsh. She's an Olympic volleyball player. She's also a mom and is married. So I think it would be nice to sit down. She's kind of gone through it all from playing indoor at Stanford and then transitioning into beach volleyball, which is something I'm looking forward to do as well. So I think it'd be cool to just sit down and kind of see like her life perspective and how she went through all those stages of her life.
And she's close enough, right? Isn't she in Huntington Beach or something?
She is an Orange County native.
Awesome. Great. How about you, Hayden?
I would choose Michaela Schifrin, who's actually not a softball player, and I'm a softball player, so it's kind of funny, but she's actually a Olympic skier, and she's just been through so much. She, kind of made herself from nothing. Like, she didn't have, parents who were Olympians like some famous athletes do, but she just trained really hard, and I've seen a lot of stories about her life and how hard she's trained. But then she's also gone through so much in her like recent years. She's lost a lot of family members and had, big injuries, and she's recovered from everything and comes back to win World Cup races and, Olympic medals. So she's just kind of overcome everything.
Perfect. Thank you. Coach Sandra.
So for me, I put two, but they coach way even before my era of life. The late Pat Summitt and then Jody Conrad. And for my sport, for women's basketball, they are very big pioneers. I got to hear Jody Conrad speak at a convention one year, and I absolutely just fell in love. I was like, oh my God, I love everything you're saying. And so, yeah, I think I would just love to pick their brain on just how the game has transformed and what it is versus now to then, and the difference with student athletes and the different generations. And so, yeah, I think that was why I picked who I picked.
Perfect. Thank you. And Miranda, go ahead.
Yeah, so I chose Brenda Martinez. I'm not sure if many people really know her, but she runs really local to me. She does the same event as me in track and field, but she's just super inspiring because she does this camp for young women who are high school runners, and she'll take them up to like Big Bear, and she'll give them gear, some New Balance gear, and they just get to go on like so many runs, and she just gets to admire the young women to just keep pushing and keep doing what they do.
Perfect. Thank you. Chelsea.
I'm not going to agree with Miranda on that because so many runs is where you lost me. But I will say I did have Pat Summitt as well. So the old steel blue eyes. I don't know if you can grow up a women's basketball player who grew up in the, I'll date myself here, 80s, 90s, and not be influenced by this woman. But she really was a pioneer for the game, but also collegiately really spoke up for student athletes and female student athletes in their development and graduation. So she did a tremendous job. Won, I think, over 700 games. Cassandra, you can correct me on that one, or 1,000. I don't even know the number. You probably do, but she also graduated 100% of her players. And I think that that's a testament to her. She was raised by farmers and she was blue collar and she just got it done and there was no other option. So I would love to sit down with her and just learn from her, just listen. And she has a really cool Southern accent, and I think that would be fun too.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So for our final question, it is to describe yourself in competition mode in one word. So when you are hot and heavy into your game, I want to know one word that describes you. Perfect. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and hold it up. Great. Nina, do you want to start on this one?
Yeah, so I chose relentless because I feel when I play, like no matter what the score is or no matter if we're winning by 40 or losing by 40, you have to play hard the whole game. Like you never know who's watching. So yeah.
Great. Perfect. And Sam?
I chose ruthless because I just think that in the game, I'll do anything to get the ball. Like I'll sacrifice my body or just anything. So that's why I chose ruthless.
Great. Coach Reimer?
I chose composed. I did the heptathlon, and that's 7 events: 100 hurdles, high jump, shot put, 200, long jump, javelin, 800 in a 2-day period. And moving from one event to the next, you got to look at these events as they are their own entity, even though in the end, it's all collaborative points, you know, for the highest score for how far you throw, how fast you are, how far you jump, how high you jump. And so going from event to event to event, you have to stay level and you can't let your emotions get the best of you. And I feel like that was the best word in order to have a good competition, you gotta, you know, stay focused and keep your mind on the game.
Wow. Yeah, for 7 different events. I mean, you come into a volleyball match, but 7 different types of that, might be a little complicated. Great. And Coach Katie.
So I chose the word confident, and this is something that we preach a lot in our program, and just to exude confidence. And I think I heard something on a podcast the other day with Serena Williams, which actually a lot of us put Serena Williams for last question, but she said that her dad always told her, there's like, you are what you eat, but also you are what you think. And so obviously we're at this level for a reason, we're at a high level for a reason. So we have those physical skills, but we all know how much the mental side has of it. So we talk a lot about confidence and just carrying yourself different from your opponents. And for me, that's what I feel like kind of separates the good from the great, is the mentality and just carrying yourself in a confident way. So that's why I chose confidence.
Great, thank you. So thank you all for sharing your answers. It's really fun to see different inspirations and ideas, and even though they may be different, we all share a common goal, and it's to be successful and be role models for those that are up and coming. Gender equality in sports are continue to progress in the right direction. Of course, we're not there yet, but we are on the right track. We are seeing an increase in female student athlete participation at the NCAA level, and more voices are being heard across all sports. As female leaders and upcoming leaders, let's set the bar high and continue to evolve together. And as the Women's Sports Foundation states, keep playing, all girls, all women, all sports. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.